Guys, I am super excited to have a special guest with us today, our estate planner, our expertise when it comes to estate planning, Antoinette. So, Antoinette, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and how they can find you and all the things? And then we'll jump into more questions about estate planning.
I'm sure. I'm Antoinette Bone. I am an estate planning, probate guardianship, and asset protection planning attorney. My office is in Euless. You can find me online at abonelaw.com. I also have a YouTube page with the same name, Abone Law. And our office phone number is 817-462-5454. I have been doing estate planning in private practice for, I think, 12 and a half years or so now.
Woo, that's a lot.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long either. How I got into estate planning, I spent 4 years on active duty as a JAG in the Air Force. And what most people are surprised to learn is that we do a lot of estate planning as JAGs, no matter what branch of the service that you're in. And so I found that I actually kind of enjoyed it. And when I was looking around at what I was going to do in private practice, I chose to do estate planning. I quite enjoy it. It's intellectually challenging. It's like putting puzzle pieces together. And what I do is I help people engage in thoughtful estate planning. So, I focus on high income married professionals and business owners and helping them ensure that the wealth that they've accumulated over their lifetime, as well as their intangible wealth, gets transferred to the people that matter to them most. And, for business owners, coordinating their business plans with their estate plans, because most of the time for business owners, their wealth is tied up in their business. So we have to make a plan for how that is going to transfer to the people that they want to transfer it to.
I love that. And first off, thank you for your service. I probably should have started off with that. And second is, I love the fact that you said that you help people with estate plan. Like you said, it's thoughtful estate planning, because I think a lot of people do a lot of things, but you always want to partner with someone who is actually like wants the best for you. I know sometimes that sounds kind of funny, like why wouldn't the professional want the best for you? But sometimes people are in it for the wrong reasons. And for you to just say it's thoughtful, it makes me feel like you're truly on my side. You're not just looking at me as a dollar. You're looking at me as like how you would want your daughter or your son to, better plan for the future when you're long and gone. So I just want to say thank you for that, because we don't have a lot of that. So we've been in a series of, all things of like secure your future. And we talked with Britney, the past two series about like what to do for divorce and prenups and all the things. So I wanted to kind of just start with today. Antoinette, what is estate planning and why is it important for us to have?
So I'm going to touch on something that you said in terms of this being thoughtful. And what most people don't understand about estate planning is that it is not a transactional event. It is something that is ongoing. And so because it is something that is ongoing, you really do need to be thoughtful about what you're doing. So, estate planning is planning for what's going to happen to your wealth when you pass away. But as much as it's about that, it is also largely about doing the disability planning. And when I say disability planning, what I mean by that is, look, 70% of us are likely to experience some period of disability during our lifetime. That disability period may be short, it may be long term, but it's a period of time where you are unable to manage your own affairs. So we need to have people in place that can step in and help do those things for you while you're not able to. So in terms of the wealth transition aspect, there is the tools that we use for that are wills and trusts. In terms of the disability planning aspect, we are using powers of attorney and medical directives. specifically durable financial powers of attorney to help to allow someone to manage your finances for you, medical power of attorney to allow someone to make medical decisions for you, HIPAA release to allow someone to have access to your protected health information, a pre-need declaration of guardian for yourself, as well as for any minor children that you might have, a directive to physicians where you are stating what your desires are if you are into very specific medical conditions, an agent for disposition of remains. And this is a person who's going to be appointed to be in charge of making decisions about what happens to your remains if you've made no plans for that whatsoever. But even if you have done some pre-burial planning, there's still decisions that are likely that will need to be made, and this person will be the one making those decisions, as well as instructions for remains, because most people simply don't do any pre-planning for their burial. So we have a document that we used so that they can provide some instructions if they don't do anything. So that's generally what estate planning is about. But I really focus on legacy planning. And so legacy planning is not just doing what I refer to as traditional estate planning, but it also incorporates helping clients to be seen and heard by their family and to transfer their intangible wealth. And that intangible wealth takes the forms of identifying what their values are, the things that help them to amass the wealth that they have accumulated over their lifetime, their life stories that they want to transition to not just their kids, but potentially their grandkids and great grandkids, people who they will never know or may never know, but who may be enjoying the fruits of the wealth that they've transferred. So that's estate planning in a nutshell.
Wait. Before you know any more, make sure if this video is bringing you value, comment something below, engage. That's the easiest way to help my channel reach more and more people. But not only that, if you want to know more, I would love if you scheduled a strategy session so I can help you from where you are to where you want to be. And if you want to talk to these amazing women who are expertise in their field, I do have their information below. Please reach out to them, schedule a consultation so you're able to get help. All right, let's get back to it. Well, first off, I'm cheesy all day, every day. This is not cheesy, but legacy planning is so important, especially for our community. I think that that's something that we lack on. And I think, what you've already said is probably a mouthful. I'm sure people are like, wait a minute, can we break down just the couple things that you've said? But what I want to do is I kind of just want it to be very surface level today. And if I get a lot of people tell us more. First off, she does monthly webinars. So if you want more in-depth information to study this, you can always join her webinars that she does every second Tuesday of every month. But not only that, you can always schedule a consultation with her. They're not free, but they are something that you need. I'm very transparent. I want people to know what to expect, because that's what I would want from someone else. Is there anything that you feel like that you should tell people who are single that don't have an estate plan, or people who are married and maybe get divorced? Because that's something that Britney said is in our last video is you need to talk to an estate planner. And that's why I was we definitely have to have you on. So I don't know if that was too long of a question, but
yeah, I got it. So,
yeah, okay, good.
There's some things that single people and people going through a divorce should know and do. First off, just because you're single doesn't mean you don't need an estate plan. Whether you are single or married, if you die with no plan in place, it's going to cost somebody some money in order to take care of your affairs, wrap things up for you. And it's going to cost money even if you have an estate plan. It simply costs more money when you don't. So single people, and especially if you are single with children, you really do need to do a plan. Because one of the things that you can do is name a guardian for your child in the event something happens to you, whether that is death or that's simply a disability. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to cut out the other parent from
You should be wanting to cut out.
rights to the child. Don't get that twisted. You're not going to be able to do that, but it still gives you a voice in naming who you would want to take care of your child if something were to happen to them. And let's say the other parent doesn't want it, they don't want the responsibility. Now we at least have a plan in place that, courts can look to in terms of deciding who's going to take care of your child. But, you also need to do the same thing for yourself. So single people, yes, you need to plan too. Even if you don't have any kids, it's just your parents. Make it easy for them.
Yeah.
Make it easy for them. And single people who are in long-term relationships, you may or may not plan to get married. But if you are acting like you are married, meaning you're acquiring property together, I don't know what you're doing about your taxes, but let's say for some reason you might be filing your taxes together. These are things you need to be very mindful of doing. But
get that informal marriage on accident. So be
yeah, intended to get married, but actions that you take can lead external third parties to view you as being married. But if that wasn't your intent, you need to be careful about what it is that you're doing. But unmarried people, the law doesn't treat you the same when it comes to the division of property, either at death or in any others, but particularly at death. It's not the same for you. You may think because you bought this house with this other person, let's say one of you bought the house that you lived in together for however many years, and that person dies. Your name is not on the deed. It's their property. So you may end up being out of a home. But you single people, you need to plan, if you don't intend to be married, you need to put that on paper. If you do intend to be married, then you should probably just go ahead and get married. You're not treated the same for tax purposes, and you may end up with a result that you don't want.
Very true. Well, this was great. I feel like this was a great intro to estate planning. I don't know if we can go any deeper without people being like, wait a minute, I need an hour class. So I just want to say thank you for coming on here, giving us some value, some easy steps to start taking. She said, get a plan. And she told you in the beginning who she services. She services professional married people or single people. She might not be your person, but she could at least point you in the right direction of who and what you should be doing to set yourself up for some legacy wealth and legacy planning, guys. So I trust that this has brought you value, and we will see you on the next one. And I will put all her information down low in the description so you are able to contact her and ask her any additional questions. Thanks again. I appreciate for all of you guys being here.
Oh my gosh, there she is. It's Keyra Ford. Keyra Ford. You don't know what? Never heard? Oh my gosh, she's played every time.